This morning, I heard a heartwarming case. Experts say that moving is a killer for relationships. Half the couples who move say they have more arguments and less intimacy after the move. This was exactly what happened to the couple who came to see me today.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Michael Whitney and Kim Whitney. The two of you have been married for 28 years, but you don't want to be married. Well, we're here. I mean, it was an accomplishment, but we are concerned because that's accomplishment we believe is over. You don't want to be married anymore, and Mrs. Whitney, I think you are the one who really wants out. You also have 4 adult daughters, all of whom are very concerned and very involved, and they are with us. Oh, look at that. Look what you did. Nice crowd. 3 adult daughters.
Hi, girls.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
And how are you?
We're doing very well. You're very beautiful ladies. Your parents do good work. I want you to stay with me. I want you to hear what's going on, and then I am going to ask you what you think is going on and what you think might help. Mr. Whitney, why don't you tell me why you believe you're getting a divorce after 28 years?
Your Honor, Kimberly and myself are not doing well. We don't sleep in the same room. We don't communicate like we used to. It always hasn't been like that. We used to communicate pretty well. As a matter of fact, I remember a time that I went over to pick up Kim, and we went for a walk, and we were walking, and it started raining, and it didn't matter. We kept talking, and we came by a little store, and we went inside the store and we bought some Boone's Farm Strawberry Hill. It was pretty good. We kept walking, and it kept raining. I think by the time we get done, we were totally soaked, but it was just an awesome time, and I remember that was one of my fondest memories.
And that was early on in the relationship?
That was early on.
When did things start to go south?
I personally believe that the things went south about 11 years ago. 11 years ago, I made a choice that affected my whole family. This choice brought us to the West Coast. We originally are from Massachusetts. I worked at a major company. They had a job offering to come to the West Coast. I had gone through I was having some medical issues, and shoveling snow became a problem for me. So I made a decision. It wasn't anything that I thought were wrong at the time. I thought it was the best choice for the family. It was financially benefit. Since then, we lost the ability to have family functions together because not all my children came with me. They all ended up going their own ways. We no longer had Christmas and Thanksgiving together. And then I believe me and Kimberly started having issues.
I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to leave it out there. I'm going to let it hang in the air for a minute, and then I want to talk to Kimberly because she's already upset and hurt. But you said twice, I made a decision. And the decision was to move you and your wife across country. That's a we decision. And when you say I make a decision, I believe that's true, that you made a decision. And when you do that in a marriage, the other person doesn't have any ownership in it and feels dismissed and disrespected. I'm going to say that. Ms. Whitney, am I close?
You're absolutely right. Selfish.
What do you think the major problem is with Mr. Whitney?
Because he's selfish. He just, everything has to be his way.
Okay. You said something to me in my papers that just struck a nerve. And ladies, you can probably help me out with this because I'm going to ask you this question as well. You said something that hit me right between the eyes. He knows that in the past, I never would tell him no. He was my weakness. I'm starting to stand my ground with him, and he's very surprised.
Yes.
Do you feel that you lived his life? In other words, you pleased him?
Yes.
And that it was a one-way street?
Absolutely, yep.
Explain what
because
kind of things were happening.
Everything that happens in our relationship, it's with him. It's always what he wants to do. It's never...
It's not true.
Do you want to go? And we're going to go do this weekend. We're going to go do this weekend. And he always makes plans for us. And I sometimes just want to stay home. I don't like to go places. I'm a homebody. And I always say no.
She wants to stay home all the time.
Stop. Now, Mr. Whitney, one problem that you have is when you interrupt somebody, that's dismissive. That's telling them your opinion doesn't matter. I'm not interested in what you have to say because what I say is more important and what I say is right. And this again, I've known you for 4 minutes now, and I've tagged you twice being overbearing. And she says you're overbearing. Ladies, what say you?
He's very opinionated and boisterous. So I wouldn't necessarily say he's just overbearing, but he does have a way of making plans for everybody.
Yeah.
Sarah, what do you think's going on here? Why do you think there's a problem?
I don't know what my mom is independent. Like, she's her own person now. She does stand up to my father, and my father does. It's like, whoa, what is happening? I just think it's very different for them because it was always been the opposite way.
Gotcha. Mr. Whitney, did you hear any of that?
I did.
What did you hear?
I heard that I'm the one making all the plans, that I'm the one making decisions. And can I go back?
Please.
Okay. So when we met, I met Kim in South Carolina. And at that time, she didn't speak. She was very quiet to herself, very reserved. And she would make no decisions. So I said, let's go here. She goes, okay, if you want to go here, let's go there. So I continued that on. It was a learned pattern, not that I automatically just did that. It was a learned pattern over the years that I just continued it on. And I brought it to Massachusetts, which is a whole different world than everywhere else. It's very aggressive. They're very abrupt, things like. So she's changed over the years to adapt to the surroundings, and which I find very good. And I'll give you an example. One of the things is we get a phone call from a person selling stuff over the phone. Back when when we were together young, the first 5 or 6 years, she'd answer the phone and stay on the phone till the gentleman finished everything.
Right.
And never hang up. I'd come home and I say, Kimberly, who's on the phone? She goes, shh, 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 shh.
Because she felt that she was obligated to listen to a telemarketer.
Exactly.
And she's just a very nice, sweet person. She says yes, 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 okay, okay,
That's what I fell in love
okay.
with.
And that's what got you into trouble.
Yes.
How much time does she spend with the bubble game?
Oh my goodness, more time than she
I
spends
only
with
got
me.
5 bubble times, so it can't be that long. Yeah, it takes 20 minutes because then I run out of
20
bubbles.
minutes each game.
Oh, I know. You only have 5 lives.
Yeah,
I bubble,
exactly.
and she only has 5 before she can do
play
another
the
one.
bubble game?
Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness.
Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. The picture I'm getting is that you were a quiet, sweet, submissive woman.
Yeah.
That he got used to that. When did that not become okay for you anymore?
Probably when my youngest moved out.
What changed?
I don't know, just my whole world fell apart when she left. When my kids left home. And I just can't deal with it. Sometimes that's why they're back now.
Because you felt you didn't have a purpose. That empty nest thing is hard
Absolutely.
for a mom. Were you a stay-at-home mom the entire time?
No. But my kids are my world.
Right.
I mean, everything to me. And when they left, it was very hard on me.
Right. Did you have stuff to do other than the children? Did you have hobbies, passions, things that you like to do other
It
than
was always with the children.
take
though.
care of people?
No. That's what I've done all my life.
Is take care of
Yes.
people. Do you find her newfound self distressing?
On occasions, yes, I do.
Give me an example of something that's been irritating you that she's been doing recently that is a source of some of your conflict.
Okay, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that because one of the things she does is she plays these bubble games
Oh, gosh.
on the internet. And it's not like one bubble game. There's multiple bubble games. And why does that cause stress? Well, I'll be holding the baby, one of the grandchildren.
A grandbaby, okay.
Right, and she's on the bubble game, and someone rings the doorbell. And I'll be sitting there with the baby, and I'll say to her, are you going to get the door? She goes, why don't you get it? I'm almost done with this. I'm not saying I can't get the door. I'll go get the door. It's just that this happens over and over again.
Well, how much time does she spend with the bubble game?
Oh my goodness, more time than she
I
spends
only
with
got
me.
5 choice times. I only have 5 bubble times, so it can't be that long.
5 bubble games?
Yeah, it takes 20 minutes because then I run out of
20
bubbles.
minutes each game? Because you're telling me you're not on the bubble game 3 hours a day.
No.
So
just
it's
that.
only when I come home you
Ask
play
him
the
about
bubble
his
game.
magic games. Ask him about that.
What about the magic game?
I play Magic. I do play Magic. It's a game that we do, and if she doesn't want me to play, that's fine.
And
not
how much time a day do you spend on your magic game?
Oh, it's on the weekends usually.
Oh, come on. Before it used to be WoW. He played WoW.
I did do that a lot.
And that was for years. For years. I swear to
You're right.
goodness could never get this man's attention for nothing. Nothing.
And now she's on the bubble game.
And I only have 5 bubbles.
Did you see what I'm saying? Oh, I know you only have 5 lives.
Yeah,
I bubble,
exactly.
yeah, because it's very calming. Blip, 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 blip,
Yeah.
blip, blip,
This
blip.
But I only do it on my computer. I don't do my
And she
phone.
only has 5 before she runs out, and then it's
Absolutely.
24 hours before she can
You
do
play the
another
bubble
one.
game?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
No. Now see, no, Mr. Whitney.
Yes.
Now see, here's where you made your mistake. You don't lose because I understand what she's talking about. What you're losing is when she doesn't feel important in her own home. I'm not going to rule in her favor because we both like the bubble game.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I
I'm
do.
not a small person. I don't think she's a small person, and I don't think you're a small person. What I'm trying to do is I need you to see the picture. You believe the things that you do are important because you understand why you do them, whether they are for enjoyment, for economic reasons. And you see the things that she does as unimportant because you don't have the empathy that you need to put yourself in her shoes. Because you've always been in charge. And people get used to getting yesed to death. You get used to it. Life naturally should be about what I want, when I want, how I want it, because that's how it's always been. And I ain't mad at you for it either, because you're human and people do that. But what happens is a couple things happen to women. One, the kids go. And they find themselves looking for themselves. And sometimes they find pieces of themselves that weren't submissive to you, and it bothers you. And number 2, we go through menopause and get more male-like. We get more like you are because we've got more testosterone-estrogen ratio starts to mimic yours a little bit, and then you get a taste of your own medicine, and you think it doesn't taste good.
She doesn't want to go anywhere.
I don't.
So I have to trick her into going
He
places.
does.
So I wanted to go to Canada. So I said, we're going to Vermont. And about 3 o'clock in the morning, she woke up. We were
In
on
Canada.
on the Canada line.
If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mrs. Whitney, I want you to tell me what he can do to make you happy enough in your relationship to stay.
I want him to be more caring like he used to be.
What doesn't he do
Always
now
consider-
that you wish he would do again? Because you have to be specific. More caring is a very vague thing. He's caring for you when he makes money. He's caring for you when
I
he
know
locks
that.
the door.
No, I know that.
You need to tell him exactly what you're looking for.
I want him to start including it as a we, not an I want to go here or I want to go there. It's talk to me. You know what I mean? When we're going to go places, it's like it's where he wants to go. It's never where I want to go. And if it is where I want to go, it's like, well, did you have fun? I'm like, yeah, I had a really good time. He's like, oh, okay, well, I didn't.
Do you do that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, you do.
So over the years,
ahead.
she doesn't want to go anywhere.
I don't.
So I have to trick her into going
He does.
places. And what I mean by this, I'll give you an example. So I wanted to go to Canada. If I said to her, I want to go to Canada, she'd automatically say no.
No.
This
Right.
is a no. And even if she does say yes, a week before, a couple days before, she'll change her mind and say, I don't want to do it. So this is how I tricked her. She loves to go to Vermont.
No,
So I
wanted to
waited
go
till
to
late at
Vermont.
night, like 9 o'clock, because I knew she'd be sleeping by the time we did get to Canada. And I says,
Yeah, he did. He went there.
I says, we're going to
Yep.
to Vermont. So we drove, And about 3 o'clock in the morning, she woke up. We were
In
on
Canada.
on the Canada line.
I did.
She said, "Is that the Canadian border?" And I said, "Yes, it was."
No, it said, "Welcome to Canada."
And I said,
Christina, I think your dad's a good guy. You think your dad's a good guy, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
What do you think he needs to do to make your mom a little happier?
My mom is like, she's always been the type of person to try and please people and help people out. So I think that's kind of how she is with my dad. Like, she just wants to see him happy and she'll sacrifice her own happiness for that. And I think that it needs to be more about both of them being happy instead of just my dad being happy.
How many times have you taken her to Vermont?
we drove from Vermont to
We
get to
didn't
Canada.
even drive through
No,
it.
but have you ever taken her to Vermont?
No.
No.
Now see there? Do you see what I'm saying? This is all about you. She said she likes to go to Vermont. It's not like she doesn't want to go anywhere. She wants to go to Vermont. But because she didn't want to go where you wanted to go, she didn't get to go. Do you know how that makes a person feel that the one guy in your life that is supposed to love you beyond anything else doesn't matter a whit about what she wants? Do you see that? In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation and share your experience on our Twitter page @Divorce Court and on our Facebook page. See how fans deal with their own relationships. The discussion can get heated. Don't miss it. Mr. Whitney, what you gonna do when you leave here?
Plan a trip to Vermont.
I think you're a great guy.
He is a great guy.
And I think you're one of these women who, and I know a lot of them, I used to be that chick myself, I would give the guy a false okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or sometimes I would say, okay.
Yeah.
And you know what? He heard okay.
Yeah, exactly.
He didn't read the dejected eyes. He didn't, none of that. Because men hear what you say and the rest of it kind of go, woo-hoo. You have to be your own best advocate. And you have to say, I don't want to go here.
I do
I
that
want to
now.
go there. I know you do. But make sure you continue to do so. Don't get frustrated. Say, I count in this marriage, and I want you to act like it. You, on the other hand, have to remember that you have been lulled into a great selfishness, and people don't just change like that. So you have to ask yourself, no, ask her every morning, baby, what can I do for you today? Baby, what can I do for you today? Because it's something concrete that you can do that reminds you that you have to switch off of the all-day Michael Whitney channel and turn on the Kim Whitney channel every once in a while. And you've had 28 years of doing just about everything you please. You can sacrifice some of what you want for what she does. And let me say this, cranky compromises don't count. You know, I have been to baseball games. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? I got him tickets to the World Series once, and when I couldn't have cared less. Hey, woo, woo. I did it all. I did the wave. I did it all. You need to do that too. If she wants to go knick-knacking or whatever they call that, you need to go, and you need to look a couple of little knick-knacks and tell her that she's cute. That's what a grown person does. You with me, Mr. Whitney? Because you will lose her. There's this thing called a gray divorce, and they're mostly initiated by women, and it's women who have been in relationships for a long period of time in which they have subjugated themselves to the man in the relationship. The kids go away, they look up and say, you know what, there ain't no upside to this. And then they bounce. Don't find yourself a victim of a gray divorce. You with me?
I am.
Stand your ground, be cool, be calm, do what you do, and act like you love her. Thank you, ladies. This matter is adjourned. You know, I get a lot of young couples in this courtroom in which one party is always getting their way and the other party is always acquiescing. What happens when you do that is what happened to Michael and Kim. One person fades to black and the other person doesn't understand why they're being left. This is how it ends.